All right, guys, here we go. So happy to have her join us on the Fight Bananas podcast. Marina, No Mercy Coffman, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Very cool. We'll kind of get into it. There's so many things I want to take it, but I definitely want to see. Are you? I saw the tweet with Bare Knuckle FC, and then you guys are going back and forth. How did that come to be? And are you interested into towing the line at Bare Knuckle FC?
So I seen like a tweet about like Paige signing with them, and I was like, no way. I was like, if she signs with them, I want to sign with them because I want to fight her. I was like, so I tweeted it, and then like a bunch of people started retweeting it, like, yeah, like, I got excited about it. And the next thing you know, like they reached out to me and were like, hey, like DM us. And so I've kind of been talking to them, and I was like, it kind of started off as a joke, but it's definitely something I'm interested in and something like I've always wanted to do.
Right. No, that's for one, that's so funny. Social media can be used in a lot of negative ways, but then sometimes it can be used in great positive ways. We do a lot of, advertising on, social media and putting out podcasts and sponsors and all that. So you just never really know. And I saw that and I was like, I actually talked to the president, David Feldman, today, and stuff are definitely in the works, and he's very excited where it can be. So you said Paige Van Zandt and Bare Knuckle. Would you want to do both, or would you like wherever kind of Paige goes one day you would love to fight her, or would you just love to go to Bare Knuckle regardless if Van Zandt does sign there?
Regardless, it's something I've always really been interested in. I've also always been interested in a fight with Paige just because I think like I've always enjoyed how she's fought, and obviously she's really good at also marketing herself and being like a social person. So it's always a fight that I looked at and thought like one day like that could be a money fight. So
for sure. You do a great job as well on Twitter. I think you do a great job with social media on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. So that could be a big limelight for you as well if you get matched up, especially with Paige, who, you're right, Dancing with the Stars and everything on TikTok, and her husband and everything.
Like getting herself out there, and she's also a competitor, so it's also an awesome fight regardless of that. So.
Really cool. I see the T-shirt. So were you born in Toledo in the Ohio area?
Yeah, born and raised.
Born and raised. One thing too, I kind of looked up on you. So you're 24 now, right? And you made your first amateur fight at 18, right? Like as soon as you could, is that you went for it right away?
Yeah. So like my very first fight, like I took on like a 2-day notice, like never fought before. Like I got a message on Facebook like, hey, we can't get any fights for this girl. Would you be interested? And I'm like, I've literally never even fought or trained or anything. And then I ended up doing it, and I fell in love with it. And then I was like, I want to do this, but I want to do it right now, not just show up and be tough. So I found, a gym and actually like started training and took it seriously. So.
Okay, so wait, your first amateur fight, you weren't a fighter, you weren't a trainer, you took the fight in 2 days.
Yeah, nothing. It was full rules, like head kicks, elbows, like, yeah. And I didn't know that until I showed up. I'm taking out like my piercings I had at the time in the back before I fight, and like didn't even have a corner. Like, yeah, it was crazy.
Oh my goodness, that story, when you make it up and you're a professional fighter, UFC, bare knuckle, that story, that's iconic. That's some, that's awesome.
I just being tough, like just. And I didn't even know I was tough like that. So like getting in there and like hanging with somebody that was trained and like actually being like, not only can I handle this, but like I'm totally into it. So it was cool.
No, that's awesome. So from now, 2020 out of a pandemic until, then, 5 years ago, what kind of fighter, so where do you train at now? Are you training kind of full time? And what would you tell yourself like back then, like, oh my gosh, I was throwing a jab like this. Like, that's horrible.
I can't watch my videos going back. I mean, sometimes I enjoy it because it's like, wow, like you get so hard on yourself until you realize like, you laugh at some of those like fights that you see and you realize that was you. Like you couldn't throw a jab. Like you were throwing these like windmill punches, like chin up, looking like an amateur. Like we all have that. And like, I don't like to watch them because I'm like, it's embarrassing. But at the same time, it's like, look at where I am now. Like I honestly, when I started out, never would have thought that like I would like get so involved with it as I am now. I kind of I just like to fight. Like that's the only reason I was showing up and I was fighting, because
Right.
like I like to fight people. And so like now it's like kind of turning into more like a career, and like things are actually happening from it. But like I don't know, people get me confused as someone that like, oh, like you're not undefeated and you're not this and you're not that. And I'm like, I don't care. I fight because I like to fight people.
Right.
Period.
Right. And when you were saying that making the career, you haven't had like a pro fight yet, have you? Have you had
No,
okay.
I'm looking at it. So my next fight will probably be like a debut with somebody.
Okay.
Um, so I've been kind of in talks with some different promotions with stuff like that. But I think I'm just with my training and stuff that like I've really like hit it hard the last year. So I think I'm just ready to kind of like
Right.
Start with going pro.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And one thing, as just a huge fan of mixed martial arts for, over a decade now, it's just, especially for females, I'll be honest, it's such a better spot now. Invicta FC does such a great job with females. I just talked with a couple girls who fought with LFA, and I know that's kind of in your area a little bit. So there's just more opportunities and better avenues to fight. And then, of course, Bare Knuckle. I was at Bare Knuckle FC 11 live in Oxford. It was I've been to so many. I've been to Super Bowls, World Series. I've been to UFC major fights. It was awesome. Like the atmosphere of it, the lights, kind of the stage where the squared ring is at is just like, it's pretty iconic. It's really, really dope. And I was like, wow. And so I talked to Dave Feldman about it today, and I'm like, just anyone who's never been to Bare Knuckle FC, they have to go. It's one of those bucket list things. And then the fighters, it was so cool because then they have, of course, like a hotel with all the fighters afterwards. Everyone is so cool. It's such a family there. Everyone is hanging out. We're all eating Domino's pizza, drinking apple pie moonshine. It was some good times for sure.
Those are definitely the good times, like the behind the scenes stuff like that. That's like outside of it, like, because you see so much of the social media stuff and like, oh, like this person hates this person, and all like the like, all that stuff. But when you actually get to see people hang out like outside of it, and like after the fights are over and the pressure's off, like you get to kind of really see people's true personalities and stuff like that. So that's really cool to be able to like hang out afterwards like that.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. And you're a straw weight. Are you kind of locked in with that weight?
Yeah, I've always been like a big straw weight, because like I was walking around 140s, when I was cutting to straw weight, and now I'm a little bit smaller than then, so now I'm like, I don't know, like 105 maybe, but like I can't imagine myself, because I'm so big at 15, like I can't imagine going down to 105. I think I'd feel like an Amazon woman or something.
That, and one thing is so funny. I talked to a couple girls about this too. It's 105 in the regional scene, there's spots for it, but in the UFC there is no 105. So people were saying I was making this weight cut and I was kind of hurting my body, depleting my body, and now I'm going to be 115 anyways. If I, the big leagues or bare knuckle, they have 115 as well. So yeah, straw weight's great, especially at the UFC. I just talked to, it's so funny, the strawweight division with Joanna Jacek and Thug Rose. Thug Rose is probably my favorite female going.
Yeah, she's my favorite.
Oh, she's your favorite. Who are some other your favorite fighters, female fighters?
For like females, I love Rose. Yeah, she's like off the bat, like she was always my favorite. Like just seeing, like I feel like she's one of the biggest fighters that you can just see like her progression every fight, like, and it's amazing. Like, just to watch her striking, and like just like every fight you actually see her get better, and I feel like you don't see that often, and it's so apparent when she fights. Like, and she also just puts everything out there. Like, she's a very like a
open person, like
she is, and she doesn't try and hide like, oh, like I'm too tough for this or that, and she doesn't have to pretend to be tough, because she is, and her fighting does the talking. So
so cool. She's like an open book. Like everyone knows who she is. Everyone knows about her relationships. Everyone knows like who she is as a person. I love. It's so funny. Kind of going up through the the UFC days. Like I was such a Chuck Liddell guy. He's got the hair and the mohawk, and then I love me some Conor, and Masvidal probably is my favorite on the guy side. But it's so funny. Thug Rose, she's kind of quiet and reserved, but I don't know. I love it. It's just like every time she's fighting, I'm all in. I cannot look away.
When that slam happened with her and Andrade, I was like, I think I was genuinely like depressed about it for like a week. Like I actually had to I had to talk myself out of being so upset about it.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, who are some favorites? One of ours is Jillian Savage Robertson. We love Jillian. She's a great fighter, unreal on the ground. Even on the male side, like I said, we threw out Masvidal. We like Masvidal. Is there a champion that catches your eye, who you watch or you kind of study in a way?
For the male side, I really like Masvidal also, just because I like people that are just down to brawl. Like
Right.
when I think of like who I want to be like, or like what fights like I think of like Rory McDonald and
Ooh.
like his crazy fight, like
Robbie
that.
Law.
Yeah, that's the kind of fights I want to have. Like when I think about like competing, like that's what I want. Like I don't like, I can't hate on people that they have like their other game plans or whatnot, but like that's like my idea of like that's what I want. Whether it's me busted up or them busted up or both of us busted up, it's like that's like
No,
yeah.
that's awesome. Oh my gosh, I can't
But
wait.
I just
Wait.
like fighters like that.
Oh yeah, they attract fans, and what I think I love about it, they attract like kind of not. They have our hardcore MMA fans. We're gonna watch it regardless. It doesn't matter. It's Shabazian and Derek Brunson. We're watching. I love it, because they bring in like outside fans and fans
Yeah.
kind of new to the sport. So to me, that's really really vital. Guys,
At
we're
the,
talking with, huh?
I just say like at the end of the day, like like whatever your record is, that's great. But if people don't want to watch you fight, you're not going to get
Hey,
fights. So
sure.
like if people don't want to pay to see you fight, people aren't going to necessarily want to put you on a card or and not to say like most people don't even care about that though. They want to have a good record and um which is also a good game plan too, just depending on what your goals are, I guess. But I just want good fights. So
Right, yeah, you're so right. Everyone's different. Anything. Sometimes teachers are all about like they want to win the award. Then there's some teachers that are really care about the kids, and they don't
yeah,
care about the awards. They just want to have the kids better. Fight same way. There's some guys, I'm not trying to throw any shade. Kamar Usman, he wants to win. Like he wants the W and keep moving on. Then there's other guys that just want to brawl. They want to scrap. There's that new guy Chimaev who fought 2 times in 10 days on Fight
yeah,
Island. He just wants to smash people.
he
Yeah.
just wants to fight. I mean, you're
Yeah.
getting 50 grand bonuses for like these awesome performances. Like, I mean, that motivate anybody, I think, to get in their fight, especially when you're not scared to hit and you're not scared to get hit. I think that's what separates a lot of fighters. Because like when you go in there and you're like, I think so many people actually get scared to get in a brawl, and like when you don't have that fear, I think it just totally changes the fight.
Oh, that's awesome, guys. We're talking with Marina No Mercy Coffman. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate it. We've had a crazy good week, last couple of weeks here in Fight Finesse. We got 10 fun questions. First thing that kind of comes to your head, so people who don't know you, some outside stuff. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. What's your single favorite day on the calendar?
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay. A dream fight. You can pick any fight, any promotion. You get it. What would that be?
I don't know. I mean, I guess your dream's always to fight like your biggest idol. So like I would love like if when I get in my name out there more and I deserve it, like I would love to fight Rose, like bare knuckle. That would be amazing.
I was just gonna say, imagine you and Thug Rose in a bare knuckle square.
I don't want anything to do with her on the ground. She's too. But throw me and her in some bare knuckle just for like the respect. Like I would just love to genuinely like just like I think all those fighters when they actually get to like fight their idols, it's like the pinnacle of their career.
Right.
So I would just like something like that would probably be like my dream.
Oh, that's awesome. That's all. So you were just saying so you're more of a stand-up type of fighter?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, very cool. What's your favorite carnival food?
Fried pickles.
Fried pig. Oh, that's a good one. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I really love Russia. I don't know why.
Really?
But yeah, I really love like Russia and that whole area and like Sweden, Russia, like that whole area I think is amazing.
No, that's awesome. And it's funny, we talked to Roy Jones Jr. last week, and he goes to Russia all the time, like, months at a time. And he's like, he brought back, he goes, people don't realize how many, the Russian people love us. Most of the Russian people love Americans. And he just goes over there and they bring in like American boxing and they eat it up. They love, American boxing. So that's really cool. Who is your hero?
Right now, I don't know. My daughter is probably my hero. She's my motivation really for doing everything. But prior to that, it was probably my grandma that passed away. But right now, pretty much everything I do is for my daughter. So she's pretty much my hero, my motivation, everything. So.
Love it. Love it. Describe yourself as a teenager in 3 words.
Awkward, weird, and quiet.
Hey, there you go. All right. Who's the most interesting person you have ever talked to?
Hmm. Um, I don't know. Recently I've gotten to be friends with his name's Mike Graves. He used to be in the Ultimate Fighter, but
Yeah.
he fights then and there. But me and him are pretty good friends, and listening to him talk and like pick his brain, he says he's a really interesting person to talk to. So, um,
No,
off the top of my mind, I love to have conversations with him just from fighting because he's like been on that level and stuff like that. So to get to pick his brain about like the Ultimate Fighter house and like stuff like that, and like he fought Usman and stuff. So like
right.
getting to hear all his stories has been really cool.
No, that's so funny. He's been on the show before, and a lot of people, in the media, like a lot of people know each other, and sometimes they share stuff. Sometimes they're almost. It's so funny. You will be so surprised. Like it's like a cat behind the scenes. They're all clawing at each other. And I think I put it out that Mike Grace was coming on the show, and people were like, "Oh my God, that's the worst." He's gonna be this. He's gonna be this. I'm like, "What do you guys mean? Like he's been cool to me." You know what I mean? And we do the interview, and it was fine. It was good. Like we went back and forth, and he was a main event in Titan FC, I think at the end of last year, and we just had a good time, good show, and whatever. And it was just so funny that you say his name. It's like people were like outing him out, and I was like,
He's one of those people that you have to meet because people say everything on social media. I mean, you can find
right,
20 people that'll say the same shit about me, and have nothing but negative things to say, But like when you actually meet someone and you get to see how genuine they are and you get to see
right,
how passionate they are and who they really are, like I mean, I form my opinions on when I meet you. Like I mean, I'm good friends with Jason Miller too, so like I don't take what I hear about people. I take how you
right,
treat me and how you are to me. So,
for sure. I love it. What is your favorite app?
Twitter right now.
Twitter. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good. Last one for you. Who would play you in a movie about you?
I don't know. Probably like Scarlett Johansson or Margaret Robbie. Someone crazy.
ScarJo would be good. She's got to get the tattoos though. She doesn't have
Yeah.
the tattoo. I think.
She's had some catching up to do.
For sure, for sure. Man, we are so excited. We're so happy to have you on. Definitely throw out some of your social media plugs, IG handles, stuff like that, or any kind of sponsors or anything. And after that, yeah, we hope to see you in Bare Knuckle FC. That'd be really fun. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I would love to. So I hope that all pans out. I'm sure something will pan out regardless. Or I'm kind of open to all options. I don't even want to like just stick in one place. I
Right.
just want to do
Right.
everything. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, throw out some of your handles.
Oh yeah, so Twitter, No Mercy Coffman, Instagram also No Mercy Coffman. That's about all I use. And also I just made a Patreon or whatever it is. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, that's on my Twitter also.
There we go. So, guys, everyone head to Twitter. Marina No Mercy Coffman. Throw some dimes down there on the Patreon. And we appreciate it. We appreciate you coming on. You're always welcome. If something kind of hits, come on, let us know, DM us, and we'll get you right back on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, great talking to you too. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. See ya.